Welcome! In this explainer, we're doing a diagnostic scan on the operating system of India, its constitution. We're going to find out why this incredibly important document isn't just some dusty old rulebook, but a dynamic, living system that's constantly being updated. Okay, let's dive right in with a foundational question that gets to the absolute heart of our topic. Seriously, think about it for a second. Can a set of rules written way back in 1950 actually work for the India we live in today? I mean, with all the changes in technology, society, and the global landscape, how is that even possible? So, to get you totally exam ready, here's our game plan. We've structured this explainer into 5 key sections that build on each other. We'll cover whether constitutions should be permanent, how India's is a living document, the nuts and bolts of how it changes, the 3 different ways to do it, and we'll crack the code on what special majority really means. Let's start with the why. Why does a constitution even need to change in the first place? Well, imagine trying to use a city map from the 1950s to navigate today. It'd be useless, right? Society is exactly the same. It grows and evolves. A rule book that can't adapt to new challenges isn't just obsolete, it's basically broken. And if you want a perfect example of what can go wrong, look no further than the Soviet Union. Its society went through these massive political upheavals, which led to them writing 4 different constitutions in just 74 years. In the end, none of them were flexible enough, and the whole state just dissolved. It's a huge lesson in what happens when your core rules can't keep up with reality. So this all boils down to a crucial difference. You can have a static, rigid constitution, a document that's essentially frozen in time and becomes less relevant every single year. Or you can have a living, flexible one that can actually adapt and evolve right alongside the nation. It's the difference between a photograph and a movie. Now, this is where things get really fascinating, because the makers of the Indian Constitution totally saw this problem coming. They didn't build a rigid, unchangeable monument. No, from the very beginning, they designed a blueprint for evolution. Absolutely brilliant. And this quote right here, it perfectly sums up their genius. They created this amazing balance. They understood that the Constitution had to be a sacred document, providing stability and principles. But they also knew it had to be a practical tool, an instrument that could be fine-tuned as needed. It's sacred, but it's not unalterable. So, how does this living document actually live and breathe? I mean, what's the actual mechanism for change? Let's peel back the layers and get into the mechanics of how it all works. The key to this entire process, the one you absolutely need to remember, is Article 368. This is the part of the Constitution that gives Parliament the power to make changes. But, and this is a huge but, it's not a free-for-all. It lays out a very specific and often very difficult procedure to ensure that changes are made carefully. And just before we break down that procedure, if you're finding this explainer helpful, please do us a quick favor. Make sure to hit that like, share, comment, and subscribe button for the A1 Institute YouTube channel. It really helps us bring you more of this content. Okay, back to it. Now, the framers of the Constitution created not 1, but 3 different ways to amend it. This is so smart because it reflects that balance we've been talking about. Some things are relatively easy to change, while the really core stuff is protected by a much higher wall. This table shows you the different levels of difficulty perfectly. For pretty routine things like admitting a new state, you just need a simple majority. That's it. But for the really important stuff, like our fundamental rights, you need that tougher special majority. And then there's the final boss level. For changes that affect the whole federal structure, you need the special majority plus the approval of at least half of all the states. It's a brilliant system. Now, let's zoom in and really crack the code on that middle one, the special majority. This is, without a doubt, the most critical procedure you need to know inside and out for your exams. So pay close attention. So what is it? Well, it's not your ordinary majority vote, not even close. It's a much higher bar to clear, and it has 2 distinct parts to it. And here's the kicker. Both of those conditions have to be met. It's like a lock with 2 keys. You need both to open it. All right, let's break it down. Condition number 1, you need a majority of the total membership of the House, not just the people who showed up that day, the total number of seats. Condition number 2, of the members who are actually there and voting, you need a supermajority of 2/3. This is a powerful safeguard to make sure a huge change isn't just pushed through on a quiet day. To make that totally concrete, let's use the Lok Sabha. It has 545 members. That first condition means any amendment bill must get at least 273 votes in favor. That's the floor. So even if only, say, 300 members are in the House, you still have to get those 273 yes votes. It ensures a really broad consensus. So, the crucial point to take away from all this is that our Constitution is designed to be robust, not rigid. It's built on this incredible, genius idea of balance. It's a sacred document that commands respect, for sure, but it was never meant to be an unalterable one, frozen in time.
And that brings us to the end of Part 1. We've covered the what, the why, and the how of constitutional amendments. But the story doesn't end here. Join us in the next parts of this explainer, where we'll dive into the role of the judiciary and some of the biggest controversies in the Constitution's history. You can find it right here on the A1 Institute channel. We'll see you there.